everybody. So today's topic is ESTJs, the good ones and the bad ones. And I have to admit, this video is a little bit difficult for me to make. I think it's a little bit tricky to make because no one wants to be thought of as bad or thought of in a negative light. Everyone wants to be liked. That's important. It's important to the human soul. Nobody wants to feel like their type is disliked. And we all know how important our Myers-Briggs types are to us. You know, they're very dear. But the reason I wanted to make this video is because I think there can be some truth to what some people feel about some ESTJs. So I'm putting them in two different categories because there are some ESTJs that are absolutely amazing, out of this world. They're awesome, they're incredible. But then there is this group of ESTJs that I do notice can be really difficult. And the reason I'm addressing it is because when I look in the comment section of my videos, in the one on ESTJs, there's a lot of negative comments about ESTJs. They're referring to them as narcissistic and you have to watch out for them, and some of them are really mean and cruel and difficult. So I just wanted to address that today. Let's go ahead and talk about the negative ones, or the ones that people tend to put in the bad category. And I just want to say, you know, on this channel, I talk a lot about mental health. I talk about different disorders. It doesn't matter what your Myers-Briggs type is. There are good ones and bad ones of every single type. But I think they can be prone to bad behavior. And I think even though it's a very strong type, ESTJs are very strong. They're natural leaders. They can take charge. They can get things done. They can have a lot of really amazing qualities about them. I think this type really needs great parents. And the reason I say that, and you know, when we're babies and we're young children, we don't know what our Myers-Briggs types are. No one does. You know, you don't know what your personality type is. But that's why I talk a lot about good parenting. If you look at some of the personality disorders that I talk about, it's very important to have good parenting with this type, because I think they are more sensitive to developing some disorders if you're not careful. And they're a more sensitive type. And in other words, you know, there are some people that can go through certain experiences and they come out on top. You can take two kids, one of them will make straight A's and one of them will act out and be very difficult to deal with, because that child is actually more sensitive to issues like abandonment or divorce or parents in and out or neglectfulness or abuse or just instability. They're just built with a level of sensitivity in them that won't handle any type of bad parenting very, very well. You have to be very, very careful. And that means that, you know, you're bonding with a child the first 3 years. I mean, all their life, but sometimes people disregard those first 3 years as though, you know, nobody remembers being 2 years old. I can bounce them from person to person. I can be in 100 different relationships. I can not put my kid to bed at night and disappear and do all of these things and party and do whatever I want to do. But you can't do that. You know, this kid, you know, first of all, they're J's. So a J kind of needs things settled to know what's happening next. Unfortunately, There are a number of ESTJs that I have observed that can be really difficult to deal with. What I've seen is, heightened emotions, yelling, screaming at everybody for the slightest things, not handling things very well, or changes, or just a lot of lashing out, acting out, just seeming to be unhappy, super irritated, rude, disrespectful, controlling everyone, arrogant, haughty behaviors and attitudes, inability to handle criticism, sense of entitlement, difficult relationships, problems getting along with everyone, controlling people in a way that is not healthy. And that's just a group. And I will venture to say, out of 100% of them, maybe about, I would say maybe 20%, we all have to check ourselves. Probably a lot of ESTJs who display this type of difficult behavior where they're not fair, they're fighting everybody, they're arguing with everyone. Those people probably won't watch my videos because they're probably not going to be that in touch with their personalities anyway, or that connected, and they're probably very unaware of how they come across, and it would be very difficult to help them because they're not going to be very receptive. So most of the people who watch my ESTJ video, I'm sure are very healthy, very well balanced. I will say that right now I work with, to just talk about some of the positive, because like I said, nobody wants to feel unliked, especially if they are very normal, very healthy, very well balanced. No one is perfect. We all have good days. We all have bad days. Sometimes we might snap at somebody. Nobody is perfect. So we're not going to put them on this pedestal of, you said one thing wrong, or, you snapped at me. Everybody can have a moment. None of us are perfect. But I will say that I work with a couple of ESTJs, and I think they are amazing. They really, really are. They have a natural gift. Like when they are healthy and normal and balanced and all of that, they're going to help everybody. They're going to keep everything in order. They're going to make sure everything goes smoothly. I think sometimes the bad behavior may stand out a little bit more in females because you don't have that many females that are thinkers, but there can be some really difficult male ESTJs too. But the ones I work with are females, and they have that guardian thing going on, which I talk about with SJs, the center judger temperament. They can be natural guardians. So these people, they look out for you. They check on me. They made sure that one of them made sure I had everything I needed. Just extra mile. They know how to take things to the next level. I know one of them just threw someone a baby shower, and it was beautiful. Oh my God. Like probably one of the most beautiful, gorgeous, oh my God, amazing. And they are fully aware that they have a very strong personality. They're very straightforward people. They don't mince words, but the ones that I'm thinking about in my head right now, they also know how to pull back some. They know how to use some tact even when they're not feeling it. They know how to get things done and get everybody moving, but in a very respectful way. Like, okay, here are the things that need to be done. Let's do it, guys. Let's get it done. Everybody, okay, we can do it. They know how to take charge in so many situations. They can multitask, keep a lot of things going. Some of them have been, thinking about right now I'm just kind of thinking about these two because they just popped in my head. One of them has had to deal with a lot of really difficult people, but she doesn't fall to pieces. She just keeps moving. She knows how to handle them, and she's just very straightforward. Like, hey, I'm gonna repeat what I said. This is how we have to do things. You know, they're good at following rules, procedures, policies, keeping those things in place, which is so critical right now, especially with COVID, pandemic, all of that. So you need people who are strong enough to say, hey, this is how we're doing things. And it doesn't matter if you cuss me out or you act the fool or you act the nut with me. It's not going to derail me. It's not going to make me question who I am. I'm going to keep moving forward. So at their best, they're actually very, very easy to get along with. And any company is grateful to have them around because I'm telling you, they can juggle a lot at the same time. And it's efficient, it's effective, it's top of the line. They're not gonna fall apart with too much to do. So I think we have to give them a chance. You know, I think if you see one who is acting out all the time, just kind of let them a little bit. If you're dealing with one that is acting out, just know that, you know, they just happen to be ESTJs, but any Myers-Briggs type can be dysfunctional and have dysfunctional behavior because of different experiences in their life. It's just that when you put that type of behavior or dysfunction on an ESTJ, it tends to anybody who's a narcissist or borderline, they're going to be difficult no matter the type. But ESTJs naturally have big personalities. They're executives, they're leaders, they keep their words, they trust facts, they defend their ideas and their principles. And you put that on, you know, a dysfunction or disorder on top of that personality type, it's going to make it bigger, stand out, and make them more noticeable than some other types that just kind of slip under the radar. So just keep that in mind. There actually probably aren't any more toxic. There might be more just because there are more censor judging types than, let's say, NTs and NFs. So it's SPs, SJs, those are your big Myers-Briggs groups. But percentage-wise, it's probably not any more than any other type. One of the things you can do if you're having difficulty with people who act out and are ragers and difficult to deal with is you can check out my book. It's called The Workplace Narcissist, and it can help you whether it's a work situation, personal situation. I wrote this book for you. I am not a writer. I don't enjoy writing, but I felt like a lot of people are having difficulty understanding difficult adults. And so I really try to put some things in this book to help anyone who is struggling to cope with someone else's bad behavior. And, you know, we do have to not accept bad behavior anymore. I mean, we do have to figure out how to deal with that better. So check out the book. It's on Amazon. If you want to see more videos like this one, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Personality disorder, stay away from them narcs. Watch your personality target, you know who you are. Welcome to Tam Psych Advice.